Hello everyone, welcome to the Overwatch PIT Tournament EU group stages. Once again, apologies for the slow start today, as I am a silly American. I forgot that the European daylight savings was today, of course, so I woke up exactly when the tournament was supposed to go live. And now we're here, so I guess it's really not too big of a deal, but again, apologies. My co-caster Sideshow is having some difficulties as well, so I will be solo casting to start us off today. A couple of minor hiccups, but I'm sure no one will care in the long run. But starting off, we have Ninjas in Pajamas, not Vivi's Adventure, over on the defense, or at least the blue side here. As I just realized, we don't even need attack and defend as we are on Oasis. And GamersOrigin will be over on the right side. So, now we're all here. Looks like the doors are open already. Let's go ahead and watch Himsy. He is the master Roadhog player that we know and love. And he's going to start off the fight. Brutal hook combo there onto Poco to start things off. So Ninja's Pajamas already looking pretty solid here. Ben Best is going to get taken out next. And Himsy's killing spree continues. Fraggy also scooping up a couple of kills on the way to the point, or at least the way past the point. As they snowballed on their advantage, they are going to be the first ones to capture the point here on University. We're going to switch over to Leaf now, as he is on the side that really needs to try and reclaim the point here. GamersOrigin looking for those picks now. Let's take a look at the compositions. It's actually almost a mirror composition. Zappis is going to be on the Tracer with Narwhal on the Soldier, but other than that, everything looking very, very similar here. Leaf's going to throw out the hook and miss. I hear the Nano going straight over to Fraggy. I'm glad I chose that correctly. He's going to bash down Ben Best with the help of his buddies. Mafu, one of the best Zarya players out there, one of the most consistent Zarya players I've ever seen. Incredibly talented player. 36% now and rising for Ninjas in Pajamas. Hip over on the other side does have a Nano Boost available. Take his POV just for a moment. Let's try to scoot in the door here. Ben Best on the Reinhardt will, of course, be their sort of entry point here. Bashing bellies against Fraggy as much as he can, trying to force him back onto the point. Fraggy's going to get slept, it appears, there, but Zarya Bubble does prevent him from just getting absolutely blown up. We do have Earth Shatters ready on both sides, and I hear Anna giving the "Go, I'll heal you" signal, so perhaps that is actually the cue to begin the fight. Ben Best is going to fall below half. He hits the Earth Shatter, does actually catch a couple of bodies there, but Zappis and Fraggy actually just dishing out way too much damage. You got Narwhal now with the Nano Boost, but he is going to get flattened as well. So Zappis and company still maintain the point, 80% now for them, and rising. Looks like GamersOrigin have maybe one opportunity here with the Graviton Surge if they can get it to go. Graviton Surge right in the face of the enemy Reinhardt. No, it looks like he's going to back off. Sometimes you see them dip down, try and make use of it. It's actually going to be the red Mafu Graviton Surge that just grabs everybody. And Noki and Poco unfortunately die in the final fight, still holding on to their ultimates. But Ninjas in Pajamas, the triple tank plus Tracer, definitely just wiping the floor there with GamersOrigin in that first round. So again, apologies everybody. I am Ask Joshi, casting solo for the moment. Thank you so much for joining us here today for Overwatch PIT EU group stages. I'm going to try and get all the other production elements caught up here as we are. I'm essentially starting an hour late, my bad. European daylight savings just started again, so I need to a couple of different things here while we have 15 seconds. Hope everyone is having a phenomenal weekend, by the way. It's been some awesome Overwatch played out, not just in this tournament, but others as well. Okay, so looking at the group standings right now, Ninjas in Pajamas are sitting at 2-1 in series score. GamersOrigin is 1-2, so they really have kind of a lot riding on this series specifically. Ninjas in Pajamas are off to such a hot start, though. Who knows if GamersOrigin is going to be able to battle back. They do have an opportunity here, just because the city center is just such a vastly different stage than the rest of them, that Pharah can really come into play here. Pharah Mercy is incredibly common. Zappis is actually going to be playing a Pharah of his own, but we'll stick on Leaf now just to see what he can get done. And it looks like Ninjas in Pajamas again Actually, no, they're going to get forced slightly off the point this time. No one has actually grabbed the point just yet. There's been a lack of deaths to actually get us started. Narwhal is going to be the first victim of Poco's baby D.Va. Fraggy also on the D.Va is kind of interesting. No Reinhardt's in play for either of these guys, but the compositions are essentially just mirrors, so it seems like the Pharah/Mercy, Roadhog, D.Va, and Soldier combination is going to be preferred by both teams, specifically for City Center. I guess the jump pads, the fact that you're going to see Pharah/Mercy come out no matter what anyway, because of just the huge advantage that they have with this center column, means that you have to bring the soldiers out as well. So, stream is live now. There's a 5-minute stream delay, so hopefully everything is working as intended for you guys. I didn't tweak any real settings, so I hope audio levels and everything are good to go, but we'll get that corrected as we move along here. Okay, we got Tech Visors launched from both sides. Mafu's going to take out Leaf immediately. Narwhal over on the other side looks like he's going to get shut down. Mafu specifically is going to get the killing blow there, but Himsy also launched his whole hog, and we didn't get a great look at that, but lots of damage coming out from those two ultimates all at the same time. It means that GamersOrigin are going to be forced away once again. 46% now for Ninjas in Pajamas already on this point. Leaf returning here now with the rest of his team. They do have Rez in hand. Zappis and company actually swapped Zupe over to Ana. Or actually, I could have been mistaken. Maybe he was on Ana the whole time. Pharah/Mercy just makes so much sense in my head. But the barrage is going to come out. Soundbarrier is going to counter, and the hook, even better counter, rips him out of the sky. Zappis is going to be flinging rockets himself and does actually find the enemy Mercy, who had Rez still in hand. So that's actually an enormous pickup. Ben Best, we're going to switch to him just in time to see him play in traffic. So thanks to Blizzard for adding that mechanic just for that small clip of Winston going flying. But taking a look at all the encoding here, it looks like everything should still be okay frame-wise. Nothing is dropping, so looks like everyone should be all right there. Zappis getting it to rain down again, finds 2 quick hits onto Hip. That is a dead Mercy for sure. GamersOrigin again lose their resurrection potential at the beginning of the fight. Zappis is actually going to catch the nano boost in midair. Looks like GamersOrigin players are starting to drop like flies. Leaf and Ben Best both go down as well. Poco kind of the last hope here to keep that overtime extended, but as he loses his D.Va suit, the enemy D.Va explosion actually catches him. Fraggy right on time with that one. Overtime has been triggered. Tracer, usually the stall component, is going to get taken out, and it's going to be Ninjas in Pajamas 2 rounds to 0 to get us started on Oasis.
Score 2-0.
Okay, we're here now on the garden level. This is a level that I've heard a lot of contention for pro players about. It seems like the high walls and the high ground specifically just are elements that are not loved too well across the competitive community, but that was also at a time when standing on the high ground actually contested the point, which is very uncommon. So I can see why it got a lot of flack right off the bat, but now they have, adjusted it so that high ground doesn't actually contest the point. I find it a lot more interesting now, though. Healers, soldiers can set up there constantly. You've got the threat of environmental kills there as well. Zappis is going to just start doing his thing. There are a couple of nicely planted rockets, but Leaf has already gotten 3 kills over on the other side. Zappis winning the air battle there, at least in the very end, but GamersOrigin had the better start for sure. Fraggy is going to get popped out of his D.Va suit. Zappis is still alive, though. No one's actually here to contest him, and I don't see a soldier, so it's actually going to end up being D.Va getting up in his face to shut down Zappis's. Pharah and GamersOrigin will begin to capture some here. 10% now. All right, who's this? Zappis? No, we got Leaf still actually on the point, trying to catch these Ninjas in Pajamas as they return. from this main entrance. D.Va just standing on the ledge there. There's a couple of strange terrain areas around the garden. You can't really stand on any of it, but you can stay up there a hell of a long time for a lot of different characters. Great shots there from Leaf. Going to get started nicely for GamersOrigin. Now taking some pot shots there at the Soldier. Gets rid of that threat. D.Va Suit comes flying out from Fraggy. Not going to find anything for it this time. He has been pretty successful with them so far this series. Zupe also going to go down very quickly there. Leaf leading his rockets beautifully against the threat that is Ana. Ana, of course, had some damage modifications recently in balance patches, but Pharah might feel a little bit safer, but the fact is that Ana is still very, very deadly against Pharah, just having the ability to scope and do full damage from range. Of course, the trade-off is that you're not healing your teammates, but Pharah can have a very tough time trying to battle against an Ana that has any amount of skill, any amount of aiming precision. Mafu here has the tactical visor ready to go. Zupe does have a nano boost for him. We'll see if they can actually get the kills they're looking for. Pip and Narwhal both go down really quickly here. This is actually a great door open now for Ninjas of Pajamas. Fraggy's going to lose his suit, but it appears that the kills are continuing to add up. Poco's going to lose his D.Va suit. Launches the ult. A little bit surprising there. It still gets taken out. I think I would not have used that because it's kind of like a get-out-of-jail-free card. Yes, you're milking percentage out of the point while that's happening, but now you don't have it for the next fight. You didn't actually get a new suit for it, so the Desperation D.Va suit did not pay off there. We have a lot of ultimates available now for Ninjas of Pajamas. They're going to be taking the high ground. You know, I've just got to stay on Mafu because the threat of that nanovisor is just so huge. At any moment, he could essentially just cause a team kill with those two ultimates. So Mafu lighting into Poco's D.Va suit actually brings it very low just to start the fight off. Noki's going to fall immediately. Hip again has the res and keeps getting shut down. Of course, they realized, I'm sure, that a lot of ults would be available. The interesting thing, though, is they committed so many of them. Ninjas of Pajamas blew a ton of ults there, and it feels like the Nanovisor alone could have gotten a lot of that work done. So kind of interesting that Ninjas of Pajamas committed so much, but they are at 42% now. Leaf here does have his barrage ready to go. He's looking right at Zappis. You always want to try to maintain a height advantage in Pharah v Pharah battles, but Leaf knew that the sound barrier was coming. He knew that his barrage was needed, so he went ahead and ducked down with the rest of his team. Narwhal's Pulse Bomb goes out, does find Himsy, so GamersOrigin have a slight advantage. You can see those health bars really plummeting now on the side of Ninjas of Pajamas. Himsy's not even in battle. Kinnell trying to stay alive, as Lucio is not going to last too long either. Ben Best as Winston trying to finish off Fraggy as a D.Va suit here. Overtime is triggered right now, so GamersOrigin still looking very good. Ninjas of Pajamas just trying desperately to keep that extended or find a kill if they can, but this is the problem where you've got 6 full health folks standing on the point, and you can't actually break back in one person at a time. So saw some interesting plays there. Worked out finally for GamersOrigin, getting a round on the board for themselves. And we will be moving on to yet another point. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us here for Overwatch Pit. I'm going to try and quickly tweet out while we have about 20 seconds here. Come join me. Join me for Nip Gaming versus lovely GamersOrigin.
Soldier 76 reporting for duty.
For Overwatch Pit. Cool. And right as the doors gets opened, the tweet is submitted. We're going to have even more Overwatch fans here once they see this, but Ben Best going to leap onto the high ground very quickly there, start dueling against Fraggy's D.Va. This is against City Center, where Ninjas of Pajamas had a pretty hardy lead. Zappis is going to fall very low health right away, but does manage to get picked back up in time to continue fragging. There's a pause being asked for. And I don't know if Gravity is here to actually pause it. I'm going to try. Nope. My pause does not work. I'm definitely not the lobby leader. I was one of the last people here. Let me see if I can whisper Gravity. But either way, we're going to continue playing here. Zappis just free-firing down. I'm not sure what the pause rules are in the tournament here, if there are any specific conditions that must be met, but as it is, Ninjas in Pajamas, they asked for the pause and they still won the fight. So as a lowly solo caster, I'll continue telling you guys what's happening. Zappis did do a great job there in that first bout. We have Mafu with the tac visor ready to go over on the other side. I'm not sure where Gravity is. I will actually hit him in Skype just to be sure. But as we continue on here, Fraggy also asking for a pause. Oh my goodness, this is not great. Benbest is going to go down. Ult's being committed here. Mafu is going to use his tac visor and take out a target there. We've got D.Va running forward here. Going to go ahead and switch over to Himsy's POV just because he does have the Whole Hog available, but then Narwhal launched his tac visor, of course, already getting the kill onto Canel. Himsy falling extremely low as well. Zappis is still in play, but GamersOrigin have flipped the point to their side. Ninjas in Pajamas, admirable job trying to stay alive there. Coco double suit explosion there actually brings GamersOrigin really into the forefront as they try to get this stagger onto Baby D.Va. It looks like they can't quite do it. Zappis is just a little bit too healthy there, trying to help him out. We've got Himsy in play now. Okay, now the pause comes through. So, was asked for a minute ago. But that's all right. Hopefully nothing too drastic was broken there. I'm actually going to use this opportunity to try and get an update from our co-caster Sideshow. See if maybe he'll be able to join us. But again, thank you guys for joining us here. Overwatch PIT. Now I can pretend that we're starting from the beginning. We have a great day of games here for you, everyone. We're finishing up Group A in the European contingent, and so far every team... Actually, we're not finishing it up just yet. There is still some more games to go. Excuse my alt-tab there, just so you get a look at everything. We have today and tomorrow's games, actually. So Ninjas in Pajamas are up 2-1 in series score, while GamersOrigin are 1-2. GamersOrigin able to take out X-Rocks, but then losing to Vivi's Adventure and E-United in the last 2 days. The rest of the group, we've got E-United, Vivi's Adventure, both sitting at 2-1, Laser Kittens and X-Rocks both sitting at 1-2. So that gives you an idea of what the groups look like right now. Of course, we do have a whole nother European group after that with Team Dignitas, Movie Star Writers, Misfits, LDLC, Hammers Esports, formerly Chavs, and Alternate Attacks, which have been on the rise. So Group B also going to be very exciting, but we are back into the business here. Himsy has that Whole Hog ready to go. We've got Leaf and Noki over on GamersOrigin side ready to defend with their barrage and... Why are we getting lag? I don't understand. It should not be too laggy. Alright, anyway. Leaf going to be firing down now at Himsy. Himsy shooting up with that Whole Hog. We've got a visor active here from Narwhal. We'll see if he can get anything for it. He's actually right in the face of Zappis and Fraggy, Baby D.Va, both going down there. Himsy is extremely low health, but manages to stay in the corner long enough for his Anna to pick him back up. Ninjas in Pajamas still trying to flip this point despite losing a couple of members to Narwhal's tactical visor. Himsy's actually about to have another Whole Hog ultimate. Leaf is going to return to battle just in time to start raining down on that Roadhog. Mafu's going to pop Poco out of his suit. Up in the skies, you can see Fraggy and Zappis trying to take over against Leaf's solo Pharah there. Leaf actually does go down. Mafu used his visor, and looks like it was at least somewhat effective there, as Ninjas in Pajamas did actually manage to flip the point. Sideshows started spectating. That's exciting. Hopefully we can get in here for the next round. Okay, Zappis flying above now, looking for some shots to take. 100% on that barrage in just a moment. Benbest does have Primal Rage, but it's joined by a Barrage and Diva Suit explosion as well. Fraggy's going to launch his out. Poco's going to launch his suit. Both barrages go out at the same time. Zappis really only finds the enemy Ana, but that is a good target to find if you're only going to kill one person. Ana's extremely valuable. Narwhal getting close to Attack Visor again for himself, but Ninjas in Pajamas have pushed this to overtime. Nano boosted Fraggy Diva Suit does actually secure a kill onto Leaf, that pesky Pharah. So always nice to take out a Pharah without much opposition. Fraggy is going to lose his suit in the end, and of course his life, but Tactical Visor ready to go. GamersOrigin did flip it back. This is an opportunity to push this to the 5th and final round. Who might even be close enough to try and contest here? It looks like there is a Tracer on the side. Zappis has switched over from Pharah to Tracer to try and keep this fight going. Unfortunately, this is one of the worst points to pull out into third person to get a look at, just because there's really just too much line of sight blocking. Narwhal launches his Attack Visor and finds Mafu, but cannot really get much else. Kinnell is going to go down in the end. Fraggy loses his Diva Suit, and that is GamersOrigin's cleaning up Ben Best with 3 limbs there right at the very end. And I'm going to try and get Sideshow in here right now if I can.
Score 2-2.
Okay, Sideshow, they can hear you, assuming I can hear
Correct.
you.
Can you hear me?
I can
That's
hear
the
you.
question. Oh, that is just more than I could ever have hoped for, Joshy. More than I could ever have hoped for.
Excellent. All right, so I'm going to try to quickly do our preview editor for our cameras, but for now, you're in the game, right? You're actually in here with us.
I am actually here.
Excellent.
And this is the final round as well. GamersOrigin putting up a good show against NiP.
Yeah, they've switched compositions quite frequently, actually. So this is, anybody's guess what we're going to see coming out here. But Pharah Mercy has been favored by GamersOrigin. Zappis has been playing Pharah just to try and, stay even with that. And no switches usually until the very end. We see Tracers start to pop out. But Narwhal has been on the Soldier. He's actually going to start out on the Tracer this time.
Well, Zappis has found the early pick onto Hype as well. And BenBest getting chunked down by this Diva. He's going in fairly aggressively. Both teams running the Diva as well are pretty powerful on this particular mode, but for now, GamersOrigin are starting to trickle away. The health advantage firmly in favor of NiP here as they begin to capture this first point.
Who is actually going to get it? Ninjas in Pajamas, so the kills did add up their way. Leaf was the last one to go down there. We've got Narwhal already with a Pulse Bomb, so he did dish out quite a lot of damage during that first encounter, but Ninjas in Pajamas, of course, they're going to be able to see her coming in, so should be able to avoid any nasty Pulse Bomb explosions, but we'll see as we continue.
I think a big problem with that fight as well is that they lost Hype really early on, and he's the primary healer. They're not playing a Death Ball tanky strategy. Lucio isn't really outputting that many heals, so if they take the Mercy out of the fight, not only is the res potential gone, but they've also lost all the heals.
Well, we have Leaf actually diving in deep and finding the kill on Mafu, so definitely removing that Soldier threat is going to help things out. Fraggy's going to lose his Diva Suit and be exposed as well once he goes down. GamersOrigin still have the body count necessary to flip the point, and they do so. 43% for Ninjas in Pajamas. GamersOrigin, I believe this was the first round that they won to start battling back. Ninjas in Pajamas actually went up 2-0, and GamersOrigin have been really scraping and clawing their way back. The last point was actually 99-99, so it's nice to see that they've gotten their footing here and can really hang with Ninjas in Pajamas.
They've got a lot of flexibility in that roster, but they're going to have to deal with a lot of ultimates coming into them as well. They don't have a nano boost on the other side, but that's a self-destruct coming in as well. It's going to pick up a kill onto Leaf. Really impactful, but on the other side, there's Poco with 2 of his own. Mafu and Kinnell, and that Resurrect's certainly going to bring a lot of players back into the fray.
I'm watching Himsy out on the fringe here. He was trying to have a nice 1v1, but then as his teammates went down, the rest of GamersOrigin just kind of swarmed around him. Poco's going to lose his suit to Mafu, which is nice for softening up the defense at least. Poco actually just going to hop off the side and get a new suit. Says, screw that, I'm not going to try and fight you with this bunny blaster. So Zappis and company have a lot of ults to work with. No Diva anywhere nearby. They should take the 65 as quickly as possible. If I'm them, I'm going to start using those ults. But Leaf has Barrage as well over on the other side. He's going to try and stay hidden until the opportune moment. Now that NiP are all over the point, he's going to start to dunk and loses out to Mafu, who is at the ready there as Soldier. Zappis also committed his Barrage and did not get much for it, if anything.
They completely baited out the nano visor there, though. Mafu invested it along with Zuppet, and they got absolutely nothing for it. Mafu was running around like a headless chicken. He didn't know where everybody from GamersOrigin was positioned. Ended up running straight into the face of a D.Va, and Poco just like sucks it all up like he's a Hoover for that ultimate. But they're going to build him up super quickly as well, and I agree with you in that they need to be using them frequently.
Well, coming back in here now, GamersOrigin coming over the top with HYP, Hip, and Leaf. Just trying to find Fraggy, actually the first one up in his face. That's definitely not the best target though, so Leaf just hops out of there. The D.Va suit is going to get launched out. Can't quite find the rocket on Baby D.Va before she gets back into her suit. Himsy over on the other side finds a nice kill onto Tracer, and Ninja's Pajamas is still in control of the point. Winning that fight actually could be enough to win the round, since now GamersOrigin are going to be in a position where they're trying to just touch the point frequently, and it's going to be very difficult to try to coordinate any kills, especially if Narwhal is the only one with an ultimate available.
Serious crunch time now, and Hype's actually moved up to Ana as well, but Zupa's got the nano boost. Sound barrier engage is coming out here for Ninjas in Pajamas, and a bit of a Pharah battle. And there's the nano boost engage as well onto Fraggy. He's trying to hunt down the tank. Winston Ben Best is his primary target, and plays are falling here for GamersOrigin.
Everyone is falling now at GamersOrigin, very, very low on actual players left. Narwhal and Baby D.Va, Poco are pretty much the last hopes here. Narwhal trying to stay alive, of course, going to try and extend overtime as long as possible. Now we're kind of in that danger zone there, where as soon as someone steps off the point, it's going to drain incredibly quickly. Mafu all just has to return here with the Tac Visor, find 2 kills right away, and Ninjas in Pajamas will lock up the game.
Perfectly timed attack visor from Mafu. He cleans up the players just before Ben Best can get onto the point there. Leaf was just about to activate overtime, but he's sailing through the air as Pharah and getting peppered by the tactical visor right into his face. And that's a close one, though.
Here's Fraggy's Play the Game honors in the very first round. It was a hell of a finish there, as you could see. Nice pile up. For him to swing into. Zupe, 21.4k healing. Narwhal just barely being able to dish out more damage than that. 61 limbs for Mafu in a 5-point control map. Looks good. Okay, so if all is correct, yes, our screens are all correct. Everything is set production-wise now. After it only took one game, goodness. And we're all good. And I should have been awake.
My computer decided just to die today as well, Joshy. It was just throwing a temper tantrum at the beginning, so that's why I wasn't there. But I'm sure you did a great job without me.
Chat were very nice to me for the situation that we had there. Starting about 15 minutes late. Obviously, that one's my bad. They warned us a while ago that after the 25th we would have the European daylight savings to keep in mind, but I'm in America. We've already had daylight savings for a couple of weeks, so totally did not, enter into my mind at all last night when I'm, playing Overwatch, trying to figure out how many hours I had left before I had to cast this tournament. So that's usually how it goes for me anyway, is I just think of my sleep as how many hours can I get between Overwatch sessions.
Planning your entire life around this Blizzard title. I'm sure that's what they had in mind, when they launched it.
Well, they got me at least, but we are headed to game number 2 now. Ilios, another control map. So who knows how this is going to fare for Ninjas in Pajamas and GamersOrigin. They had a really close bout on Oasis. It started out looking kind of out of hand just because the triple tanks from Ninjas in Pajamas were looking so strong, but GamersOrigin did manage to battle back and at least make it close. So 1-0 lead for Ninjas in Pajamas. Again, this is just a best of 3 series here in Group A. Every team plays every other team. Ninjas in Pajamas series score 2-1 going into this. GamersOrigin 1-2. So this is a very important series, I would say, for GamersOrigin to try to not let slip away.
And I do like the idea of these teams of GamersOrigin and Xrox yesterday who did it, that are just bringing Nip onto the control points, because they do look slightly weaker. They look a little bit more uncoordinated. I don't think it quite plays into Nip's style particularly well. And a lot of the pressure is on Mafu, who's on a role that I feel he's less experienced on in terms of time actually played in regular matches, and I feel like he's still getting his footing on this Soldier 76. So it's applying a bit more pressure than you would usually see onto Nip, and that previous game was super close.
That is an interesting point. Mafu playing the Soldier when he's actually just a beastly Zarya is also kind of interesting. That Zarya used to be favored on essentially every control point, every control map, and now Soldier is just such a vital tool. They have to rotate him around occasionally. Leaf is actually going to start on the Genji, which we haven't seen just yet. He didn't play it at all on Oasis. He was on Pharah essentially the entire time. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. Mafu, Fraggy, and Himsy grabbing 3 kills incredibly quickly there, give them great odds of taking the point first.
Fraggy's playing this D.Va a bit like a dive tank as well. He's making sure that he's taking a bit of damage away from his team, but he's also going behind, and he actually picked hype there on Zenyatta, so making sure that he's right in the face of the enemy, applying a lot of pressure, playing it in a similar way to the way he plays his very aggressive Reinhardt. But this was always a team that used to poo-poo the idea of running D.Va in their compositions, and now they're running it more than they run Reinhardt.
Well, yeah, I mean, Fraggy's definitely happy to pick up the challenge of Reinhardt if there is an enemy Reinhardt, and control maps, I think it's probably the place that makes the most sense to not need that sort of directional barrier and instead make use of that ultimate eater that D.Va's got. Also, explosions. Explosions can just come in. The D.Va suit explosions can get 2 kills randomly just because the fights break down so quickly. It's hard to keep track of everybody. But Leaf is going to get powered down very quickly there. It looked like he may have had an opportunity for a Dragon Blade, but actually just got gunned down in the streets. 36% now for Ninjas in Pajamas, and climbing as they collect even more kills.
Again, applying a ton of pressure. Fraggy at the front, making sure that players can't get in position to use their ultimates, and that's the aim of the game here for GamersOrigin, because they've got 5 on the board, and Noki's sound barrier is taken up as well, so they want to get in a position where they can actually initiate, because they have that ultimate advantage, but they just can't get in a position where they would actually get value from them at the moment.
Checking out Leaf, he's got the Dragon Blade out now. Lots of ults flying out at the same time, though. Sound Barrier Transcendence. I heard Attack Visor from Mafu as well. The Dragon Blade itself doesn't really get much, just pours in a little bit of damage, not really any killing blows, but Poco, Narwhal, Hip, all happy to collect the kills off of the low health remnants, I guess, of Ninjas in Pajamas. Fraggy, of course, gonna exit stage left as well and rejoin his team. So everyone on Ninjas in Pajamas, I see Himsy trying to be a sneaky Roadhog here. He knows Winston is right in front of him. He's trying to hit that hook by jumping onto the rooftop. Can't quite make it, and Winston's gone now. So the rest of Ninjas in Pajamas showing up. They have the opportunity to break in now. Fraggy, you said he was playing sort of as an aggressive tank here, and it looks like he is already trying to just get up in the face of anybody he can. Hip falls very low. Hip dies so quickly. Great plays there.
And Himsy's trying to land hooks in the backside as well. They've got the nano boost up as well as Himsy's whole hog. On the other side, they've popped off that sound barrier in an attempt to pick off some players and give them room to go aggressive. They don't have to worry about the damage coming into them. They can continue to batter their way through the choke points and pick up these kills with the aid of that sound barrier. And Kinnell's been very slow to build these up. Noki's had 2 in the time it's taken him to build 1.
Well, that's a fair point, actually. Lucio on GamersOrigin side, though, might have had more healing to actually do. So that's another consideration there, just the amount of carnage that and Ninjas in Pajamas are pushing out. But Leaf does have Dragon Blade ready to go again. We'll see if he can get more value for it this time around. They already are in control points, so he can definitely wait until the opportune moment. Fraggy is going to go down as well as Poco, so 5v5 to break things out. GamersOrigin is going to be starting out in a pretty good position. Leaf's got the Dragon Blade out. Nano Boost is out. Lots of ults getting committed. Zupe goes down. Mafu gets launched off the side there. His body, ragdoll at least, 80% now for GamersOrigin, and they are staying in control.
Yeah, Mafu and Zupe, I feel, have not quite been synergized this whole tournament, actually, whenever I've been watching the two on Ana and Soldier, because other teams are so good at having the rest of their team coordinate ultimates to break the tension in the downtime, but then when you've got that tactical visor nano boost up, the nano visor is so powerful, and they haven't been syncing those 2 ultimates up.
Wow, the Mafu visor just got completely shut down there by Poco's Roadhog, so that's a big tool that they're going to be missing trying to flip this point back. Ben Best here up on the point specifically, going to catch the Pulse Bomb there from Zappis, so that definitely helps Ninjas out. They've got now 73% climbing up toward that 99, and GamersOrigin actually in a position where they're one and done. If they can just win a single fight, they should be able to take the round and start with a nice lead on Ilios. However, Ninjas in Pajamas, they're going to have maybe 1 ult here to work with. Whole Hog is pretty much the only really big damage output. Noki's Sound Barrier could basically negate that. So this is going to be a very interesting fight. I'm actually going to go into third person now as Sound Barrier comes flying out.
And they can definitely take this as well if they get right in their face and pick off early kills, which they have done. Kinnell and Fraggy down. Noki trades his life for it, but the sound barrier was all they needed. Nano Boost has come out now, though. That's onto Himsy. Great hook from him. Takes down Leaf, and that's a lot of DPS power taken out of the equation. Himsy just going on a one-man clutch spree.
Himsy, yeah, another hook there to finish that little run. Narwhal is going to go down, and suddenly hip on his own. Not going to last too long. Himsy, yeah, he was basically the star of the show in that last fight. He was lying in wait for someone to jump onto the point, excuse me. Lucio was the first one there. He did have sound barrier health, so the hook combo didn't kill him. However, it did obviously blast a huge chunk out of him. Lucio fell very quickly as a result. He launched his whole hog ultimate and poured out a bunch of damage, kept people off the point, got the nano boost there just so he could push out even more damage, got the hook kill on Genji, got the hook kill on Tracer. Himsy, basically a one-man apocalypse, I guess you could say, on that Roadhog. And we've got the Ruins stage this time around. Ninjas in Pajamas battling back, actually. They were behind for the majority of that stage and still managed to grab that first round away from GamersOrigin.
GamersOrigin not opting to go with the Pharah Mercy here, which I feel is definitely viable on the Vilios. Instead, opting with their triple DPS dive composition that was working reasonably well last time, gives them the opportunity to engage on a smaller amount of ultimates just because they have more damage in the pool anyway, as long as they can focus down targets. Fraggy moving forward, putting himself in a bit of a position to bait damage, allow the rest of his team to get position.
Watching Zappos on the Tracer actually going into the backline from the left side. Himsy gets the first kill. No surprise again. Himsy's always the first one to get the first kill as Roadhog essentially his right and left click are almost like ultimates in this first fight where he just gets instant kills. There's another one onto Ben Best. And they have Tracer kind of corralled over here on the right side, but they've already got control of the point, so they're going to fall back just a little bit, get everyone healed up, and Himsy actually still the farthest forward, trying to find Leaf on that Genji, just barely swings and misses on his hook. Going to head back to the point as well, so Ninjas in Pajamas firmly in control, GamersOrigin looking for a way-in.
Hype and Poco changed their heroes over as well, so now they're running Zen McCree. The McCree designed just to try and shut down Fraggy a little bit, see if they can get a flash above his shield as they dive in, see if they can take down Zappos a little bit as well, but Himsy immediately shuts down the dive there. That Roadhog's so powerful whenever Ben Best goes in. It's a Winston's worst nightmare to be met with all of that shrapnel damage.
Narwhal throws out a pulse bomb and gets a little bit of damage, but no kill. Finally, he does join up with Poco, and they're able to take out Himsy and Zappos. Both actually go down there. Mafu finds the Zenyatta player on the other side. Leaf actually pulls out the Dragon Blade in what I would consider a one fight. There were only, well, I guess 2 supports and a soldier. I guess I only really saw the 2 supports there and thought this is kind of a strange decision. But Fraggy and Himsy were both about to return, so I can see why dedicating it to flip the point actually does make a little bit of sense there. So I'll rescind my earlier confusion. Once I saw that soldier go down, it made a lot more sense. We got Zappos now with a pulse bomb ready to go, looking at this right side cluster of players.
And I feel like GamersOrigin definitely have to play aggressive here. They've got the sound barrier if they want to try and initiate. Earthshatter comes out actually and doesn't catch anybody as far as I can tell. Ben Best's been debuffed though, and he's going to go down so quickly. Yeah,
I didn't see any bodies laid flat. It looked very awkward. Pulse Bomb and Deadeye actually trade kills. That is a very interesting one. The 1v1 Tracer and McCree, and both go down to the other's ultimate. That's a rare one, folks, but that's exactly what happened. We've got GamersOrigin still on the point, but Mafu, Kinel over on the Ninjas in Pajamas side going to drop the sound barrier and bring everyone back into high health. Leaf is going to go down. Ninjas in Pajamas definitely have an opportunity here. Ben Best is kind of the only one to contest, and he actually bites the dust as well. Ninjas in Pajamas still contesting. Narwhal returns and falls, so that is finally going to happen. 50% now for Ninjas in Pajamas against 56 of GamersOrigin. Just as close as all the previous rounds that we've seen here in these control maps.
It's so difficult for Ben Best to do anything here because when he jumps in, he's immediately getting focused down by Mafu and Himsy. And if Himsy lands a hook on him, he's almost dead in the water, and he really requires the rest of his team to follow up very quickly. It's a difficult composition to play this dive into.
Dragon Blade is out. Watching Leaf now just barely actually escape a biotic grenade, so the dash positioned him just perfectly there. 2 kills for his efforts. Ben Best also going to launch Primal Rage, and that should be GamersOrigin flipping it back with just a couple of ults committed. Narwhal still has a pulse bomb ready to go. Looks like Transcendence must have also been dedicated there. Unless, did he just switch to Zen? Was he on Ana earlier?
No, he has committed the Transcendence, during that fight as well. They used it just to heal everybody up, and they've got the sound barrier for possibly the next push as well, but this Earthshatter is going to be a free one. Oh, they pick off the 2 crucial targets there. Fraggy and Mafu just about to get their ultimates online and could have been devastating.
Well, Himsy still hanging around his Roadhog, trying to carve a way in here. Finds 2 kills, actually, after those ultimates go off, and the aftermath actually still favors Ninjas in Pajamas. They're going to walk onto the point, no contesting. Narwhal's going to try to just delay it, but yeah, they got most of that point capture for actually nothing after securing those last couple of kills. So 86% now, going to tie this one up basically and send us to that overtime situation once again.
Again, though, Mafu uses his ultimate in a very inadvisable position, but on the other side, Fraggy doesn't waste his. Himsy picks up 2 as well. This is looking like a fight they'll enjoy winning, unless Hype can get the very end of his Transcendence. He's on 97%, just about to get it. Can he save the rest of his team?
Maybe. Sound Barrier's coming out now from Ninjas in Pajamas. Leaf does have the Dragon Blade out and swinging. Zupe goes down. No Ana in play. Kanel, both supports actually murdered at the hands of Kenji. He's got a Sound Barrier of his own now. He actually fell extremely low health. That Sound Barrier saved him for sure, something like 30 health, but Ninjas in Pajamas still in control of the point. Himsy's kind of the last bastion of hope. 12 health while he launches that whole hog out and does not get enough kills for it. GamersOrigin still standing strong. Overtime is going to tick down. No, actually, they still got to flip the point and get up to 99%. Oh my goodness, I thought they were in one and done territory, but actually Ninjas in Pajamas had enough time to return to battle. Fraggy exploding will certainly help things out though. Poco has the attack visor out as well, and GamersOrigin
They couldn't get on the point.
Finally get the goal that they're looking for. Yeah, they killed everybody on the way in. They did what they had to.
Yeah, they did. They took down Fraggy really early on with the pulse bomb, and that was absolutely crucial because Zupu was just about to get up to his nano boost as well, so if that had been able to pop off just a couple more seconds and you've got a nano boosted Fraggy on the point, they definitely had an opportunity to flip that one over. GamersOrigin replying 1-1. Pretty close here.
Pause. Okay. Pause. Restart. Computer. Okay. So I was like, I don't think we're restarting the game for a pause. That would be...
He's asking us to restart all of our computers.
Oh, okay.
It has to be a full restart for everybody.
Well, you're way ahead of us on that front. You're all set.
I've done like 100 this morning.
Oh
my computer was doing them for me.
Well, I mean, issues aside, we're all comfortable now. We've got a great series here for us. Ninjas in Pajamas and GamersOrigin have been fighting very, very closely against each other. Oasis was a terrific map to get started on, went a full 5 rounds, and then jumping straight into Ilios again. These guys have to be exhausted. I know that when I get control maps back-to-back in competitive, I'm just drained by the end of a 5-round match. So props to these guys for keeping up the action as well as they do. And you know, it's just a BO3 series, so Ninjas Pajamas, if they can just win a couple more rounds, they can safely move on with a 3-1 series score. That'd be terrific for them, for their hopes of exiting the group. I mean, I think they would have to, actually, if they win this match, since they only have one more opponent. The worst they could do is 3-2. Maybe tiebreakers could screw them over somehow, but I feel like that's pretty much winning in if they manage to take out GamersOrigin here.
Seems like it. Haven't done the maths, but that sounds legitimate. I'll trust you. Whereas GamersOrigin are actually performing worse than I thought they were coming into this. I felt like they were a team that could really surprise people, but coming up against these top teams, unless they manage to steal the victory here, which is still possible, I feel like they'll be a little bit disappointed they weren't able to show more of themselves. But they're a team that seems to be just plateauing at the moment compared to VB's Adventure, who we've got in this group, who are definitely on the up. And alternate attacks that we've got in Group B are definitely on the up as well. They're another team like VB's Adventure who can definitely take it to these top teams. They seem to be thriving in this new patch, actually.
It's interesting to say that, well, I'll just counter with every series score that we've seen has been misleading. Like every 2-0 has been super close. I think Ninjas in Pajamas... Yeah. Ninjas in Pajamas had a good series yesterday where they won both maps by about 2 minutes, but every other series that I've been a witness to has been just super close. Like even the 2-0 series end up being like, you know, drawn out overtimes or clutch plays in the last moments, things like that in order to save games. So I would say that the parity that we're seeing in Group A is just insane, and that if GamersOrigin are underperforming, I think, you know, it's honestly coming down to just individual mistakes, like an ult a little bit later than it should have been, or maybe committed a little bit early. Stuff like that is just showing so much through this competition just because these teams are so evenly matched. And if one side is operating at, you know, 95% efficiency and the other's at 92%, then, you know, just barely going to edge them out each time. GamersOrigin obviously still have an opportunity here. They took Oasis to a full 5 rounds. They could certainly win Ilios if they continued this trend, but hopefully when Poco gets back, if he was being plagued by any issues, those will be cleared up and we'll get even better games.
Something that's caught my attention and interested me is that NiP are currently playing the same composition as a team over in North America called Selfless, who are playing this exact composition, which is the Reinhardt and the Roadhog, and then you have the Soldier 76 and the Tracer. And the way that Selfless plays it is hyper aggressive. They always get in your face. Very individually skilled players on their Tracer and Soldier 76, and a very consistent player on their Roadhog, and a similar kind of Reinhardt style where they're really up in your face. The key difference to me is how Mafu's playing it, and the aggression and the skill that we see from him, I feel, is I don't really want to say lacking, because NiP have still been performing really well, but I feel like there's still a lot of potential for there for them to improve.
It's interesting, like, Mafu, again, is an interesting person to me because his Zarya is so deadly that I feel like they could just pop him on Zarya at any time and just have the advantage. But Soldier is just a necessary component on these control maps when you're expecting Pharah every time. So if Mafu's the best available and they have to sacrifice an incredibly good Zarya to take out a Pharah time to time, I think, you know, it's just a sacrifice they have to make. Hero pools definitely will make a difference when you've got these teams as evenly skilled as they are. Mafu, Helix Rocket, though, immediately showing his value on Soldier. Even though he is the first one down, he took out that enemy Lucio so quickly that the lack of healing should favor NiP for sure.
Fraggy falls down super weak, but manages to get healed up by his Ana as well. There's 3 players left alive for both sides, but Zup is in a really sticky position, just manages to squeak away from that Tracer, helped out by Kimmel, lovely peel from him, and they're trying to avoid Poco as much as they can. Is Mafu going to fall again, or will they be able to pick up the Zarya? They absolutely need to take down Poco here.
Watching Canel, just because he's up in the face of that Zarya, Poco does eventually go down there to Mafu. Leaf going to secure the kill on Soldier, though, and this has just been a long, bloody battle. No one has actually claimed the point yet, so interesting kills piling up on both sides. Just the way and who was taken out matters a lot. Zappis, double kill Pulse Bomb there. Definitely opens the door now for NiP to grab this point.
That was crazy.
Props to Canel as well, staying alive.
Yeah, Fraggy had his Earth Shatter up, and he was debuffed and on about 20 health, and he just backs up, keeps his shield up, and then just as Ben Best goes in for the killing blow, he hits all 3 of them with the Earth Shatter, and Zappis just plonks his Pulse Bomb down on their prone bodies and picks up that 2K.
I missed the Earth Shatter intro, so that's good, actually, that they were able to coordinate like that, because they still haven't flipped the point somehow, despite all these kills. Despite the double kill Pulse Bomb, still nobody has grabbed the point. GamersOrigin actually looking favored now as Poco comes in, as Zarya grabs a couple of the limbs. That's 3 final blows for him in a span of about 8 seconds. And GamersOrigin are the first to grab the point, despite several ultimates being used on both sides. We've got a lot actually stocked up now on GamersOrigin side. Well, Ninjas and Pajamas are just now hitting their sound barrier and maybe whole hog this fight. Mafu has swapped off of Soldier onto Zarya to try and match this tank composition.
And both supports have been caught inside this Graviton. There's the Big Bang combo. Now picks up both of them, and that's surely going to be a one-fight here for GamersOrigin. And as you were saying, the ultimate advantage so strong. Himsy takes one with him as the rest of NiP throw themselves into the pit to reset. But they've started to get some ultimates up of their own as well, and Poco had a huge advantage because he was playing Zarya really powerful on this particular stage, and he was playing it right from the beginning really well.
Pretty funny seeing them take the dive into the pit. How convenient to actually have that nice suicide reset button in the middle of the point. But grabbing someone on the way down definitely does help things out. Just prevents them from setting up exactly the way they want to. Fraggy's just going to get flattened there. Ben Best did get the pin there, and the follow-up was nice and ready for GamersOrigin. 55% already piling up, and they're in a 6v5 now, so things are looking very, very good for them. Himsy's off on the left side. I think he was spotted, so he may want to be careful over there if he's trying to do some flanking Roadhog shenanigans. Fraggy nearly gets pinned, but doesn't. Earthshatter comes out on both sides, and Ben Best actually got a slightly better one. Himsy is going to launch the whole hog. The kills.
To Ben Best. He's coming around the left-hand side, but they've lost so many players there because Poco was trying to get as far forward as he could, seeing if he could launch off that Graviton, and got picked off. And he'd done such a good job at building it incredibly quickly as well, but that Earthshatter was pivotal by Fraggy.
There's interesting string of ultimates, basically. We've seen just multiple multi-kills, essentially, not really pile up the way that they want to. Even though we've seen some really crazy plays, it seems like the enemy team usually ends up sticking it out. So lots of perseverance here on both sides. Leaf does have a Dragon Blade, Graviton Surge combo to work with. They could basically get a team wipe with just those 2 Qs. Mafu is going to get the first kill onto Noki, though, so GamersOrigin already at a disadvantage. They're going to let the ults fly. Pulse Bomb, Dragon Blade, Graviton Surge, all committed there. They get several kills very quickly. Cannell still standing on that Lucio. Such a slippery one there. Great work for him, actually, just staying alive as well as he has.
Just
Zappis
got his Graviton up as well.
And Zappis just got a couple kills.
Fraggy's on 80% here. Definitely potential for them to get back into this one. And they've already managed to flip the objective from the previous fight. And even though GamersOrigin got a good fight there, they're only up to 83%. So definitely still time for Nip to come back into this one. And I like how aggressive Fraggy's being, because it puts so much pressure on Poco and Benbest.
I can't believe they just used all those ults and still didn't grab the point. Like, it's actually mind-boggling. Just this round specifically has had so many what I would consider a one fight just tipped back the other way, and it's just because of the strength of these tanks and healers. Nice Earthshatter there, but there's Ninjas in Pajamas definitely showing up on that one. 5 kills in about 1 second. Narwhal going to join his team as well back in spawn, but holy moly. That was that was pretty brutal, I guess, slaughter you could call it, right in the front.
I think Nip are showing that they're incredibly good at mitigating Graviton surges as well. I think they're very used to playing this Zarya v Zarya fight, and they're very comfortable at being able to put the enemy Zarya in a bad position, and then when the Graviton is actually popped, they know exactly how to minimize all the damage from it as well. So even though Poco's had a lot of Gravitons, they haven't been as impactful.
Yeah, and he's actually getting closer and closer to another one now, but it's 99%. Leaf lands right on Zupe to get the kill there. He's looking to try and bounce Roadhog off, but actually gets a reverse situation there. Zappis is going to be coming in for Ninjas in Pajamas, looking for the enemy Tracer, and Ana. Hip falls very, very low on health. Should be able to secure the kill, and he does. Ninjas in Pajamas getting the last 3 kills on the board there. Should be enough to tip the scales in their favor. Narwhal's going to do his best to try and hold them off.
They've popped off the sound barrier, and Narwhal and Noki, the only people who managed to hit, though, and they're desperately just trying to play the point. They're not going to be able to do it, though. Both of those players, small health pools, immediately going to be pressured off the point, and that's going to be Nip going up 2-1. And a masterclass in evading CC ultimates there from Nip. They constantly putting pressure on Poco so that he wasn't in a position to deal huge Gravitons, whereas Mafu was landing them time after time, even though he was doing less damage overall and building his ultimate less quickly. When he actually used it, it was a guaranteed team wipe every time from Nip.
Good stuff there, just holding the Zaryas in line against each other. They're both going to be exiting again here as the Ruin stage does tend to bring out a lot of Genjis and Pharahs, so Mafu is going to start out on Soldier. I think that's a smart decision still. Bring out the utility DPS as quick as you can. See if, you know, if you're actually going to be countering anything, and then switch to Zarya if you're not already in control of the fight. But we've got the Zenyatta dive special here, plus Poco on McCree to get us started from GamersOrigin. Poco, I mean, McCree on control has kind of been a no-no for me lately just because Soldier exists, and he's able to take care of himself much better. Deadeye is just a much harder ult to make use of as well, but Poco's landing these shots.
Yeah, they're just trying to pick off individual targets with the flashbang as well. They can get over the top of Fraggy's shield, and that means that all the rest of the team is opened up to this dive. Fraggy's essentially the bastion holding them back from the brink, and as soon as he is taken down with a flashbang to the face, it opens things up for the rest of the team. And they've started with Zen as well, so they're not in that sticky situation they were last time they played Ruins, where they began on an Ana and wasted 50% ult.
That is a fair point. The Zenyatta is actually very nice for these mass tanks that they keep running up against. Himsy specifically catching that Orb of Discord makes him a much more squishy target to deal with. Poco not really landing too many shots anymore, but of course he is hanging in the back here as McCree now waiting to address the Genji and Tracer as they come in. Benbest is going to be the first to fall. Himsy grabs Hip out of nowhere. Suddenly it's a 6v4 fight. Mafu's 6v3 now as they continue on to the point.
Himsy is clutching this one as well. He's always had that potential. He's an excellent Roadhog, and sometimes he just decides, this round is mine, and I'm going to hook as many people as it takes to be able to flip this in our favor. And now they've got the control of the point and control of the position.
Lots of nice ult combinations. Well, one nice ult combination that can cause a team wipe. That Nano, Visor, and Himsy's Whole Hog basically plus anything can be enough for a team wipe. But Mafu planting the Helix Rocket directly onto Narwhal. Narwhal did not even know Soldier was there from what I could tell, and they're just going to clean up again, repelling this push before it even starts.
Really nice aggression from them. They can fall back to the point now. They're charging other ultimates up as they have their Nanovisor, so I'd like to see them play aggressive with the Nanovisor now, so that by the time the next fight happens and they have to use the other ults that they've got in their bank, they're on their way to charging back up that Nanovisor. You know, staggering out your ultimates like that is the best way to continue a snowball going.
Watching Mafu now, because of that Nanovisor potential, we're probably going to see a lot of ultimates, actually. I'm going to go ahead and go out into third person. Himsy has already started with his whole hog, and Ben Best is going to be the first one down. Zenyatta also dying means Nip are in a great advantage once again. Mafu finds a kill onto Leaf, and that is going to wrap up this fight again. Poco actually still in the business. Takes down Zappis. Of course, he falls as well, just because he's McCree and can't really run anywhere from the Ninjas in Pajamas squad, but... Ninjas in Pajamas, if they can win this round, they will win the series 2-0. So this is do or die time now for GamersOrigin. They got a lot of ults to work with.
Huge amount of ults. I think we'll see an initiation from Hype as he uses his Transcendence, and then Leaf following in with the Dragon Blade. As long as he can get onto a couple of targets, that's exactly what we're seeing as well. Leaf into the back line, seeing if he can take down Mafu. Mafu's got the Nanovisor though, and that shreds through Dragon Blades. You are not going to have fun there, even if you've got a Transcendence on you.
Kester Cursed Mafu basically switched to him right as he got headshot by Hips Zenyatta. I was like, oh, a visor, that'll be good. No, he's dead immediately. But Ninjas in Pajamas, they hang on. They reflected the Dragon Blade. Looks like there are still 3 ults on the side of GamersOrigin, but they're not really in time to make it work. The Earthshatter at the gate actually stops them flat, and Himsy grabs 2 kills right away. Again, just tipping the scales so quickly for Ninjas in Pajamas. Leaf is going to try to get something done. Ben Best is going to pop the Primal Rage, of course, as the last person standing for GamersOrigin. But overtime will tick down, and we will see Ninjas in Pajamas take the series 2-0 across 2 control maps. Still very close. Again, the scoreline not really doing justice here. I think Ninjas in Pajamas were the better team in the end, but GamersOrigin did put up a great fight across these 2 maps.
They definitely made it close on some key stages there, and took some in their favor as well. But as you say, overall, Nip playing better. And in terms of the teams playing this triple dive composition as well, GamersOrigin still look a little bit tentative with it. They don't look like they want to take the bull by the horns a lot of the time, which you have to do if you're playing a dive comp.
Zappis showing up Mafu from the last map. Zappis gets 64 limbs in 4 rounds. Mafu only got 61 in 5 rounds. So that's Tracer for you, I guess. But hello, everybody. We're back for Overwatch PIT. I'm Ask Joshi, casting with Sideshow. Thanks for bearing with us through that first series. It was a great one. Just a couple of difficulties to get the show started today, but now that we're off and rolling, should be a lot of fun. First series in the bag already, and we do have 2 more awesome series for you guys. E United versus Laser Kittens is going to be the next one up, and Alicus has informed me that there is an alternative starting lineup. So he didn't use the word substitute or anything like that. Alternative starting lineup from the 7-man roster that was announced. So I'm curious who exactly is going to be rotating through this time. Laser Kittens are 1-2 in series score. Again, extremely close games for them so far in the tournament, but they are in a position again where they have to win this series.
Absolutely. They definitely do. And the guy that they've got on the bench is Spazzo, so he's also their coach. You know, he's on the bench in that sense. He's part of their rotating roster, but so far they haven't rotated it. As we say, this isn't a roster that's been around that long, so it'll be interesting to see where he fits in as well, whether they make a couple of role switches or whether he just slots directly in.
I had actually forgotten Spazzo was marked as a coach there and could be playing, so that's interesting. Spazzo is one of my boys. I got my boy Wolf, my boy Spazzo, you know, just throughout. I'll just shout out anyone I played closed beta with usually when I'm casting, but Spazzo actually is from my home state, and I was very surprised to learn that he was going to become the coach of the basically EU squad, Laser Kittens. But I am very curious to see if he's going to be playing. That'll be really cool to see. But again, we are here for the Overwatch PIT EU Group Stage A. Thanks to all the sponsors, AMD, Logitech, Twitch, Blizzard, etc., etc. Thanks, of course, to Beyond the Summit for helping in behind the scenes as well. But we are going to cut to a break now, and when we return, E United versus Laser Kittens will be our best of 3. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back in just a couple of minutes. Please enjoy the message from our sponsors and then some lovely Overwatch music for now.